With this presentation, I wanted to use an example of how I might help a friend with a project on social media. I find that it is beneficial to ask questions outside of the classroom to gain better understanding on a subject. The other day, my friend asked, "What are some differences between plant and animal cells? I have a science project due tomorrow." I replied, "Great question. Here's an example of what the inside of a plant cell would look like." Here we can see the anatomy of a plant cell. I'll start with three main components that are not in animal cells. These components are specific to plant cells: central vacuole, cell wall, and chloroplasts. Let's break it down. First, we have a cell wall. It is usually rigid and is additional support for the cell membrane. If we look at the first image, it looks like a green brick wall, right? Well, the outer portion of the wall, that is a darker shade of green, is the cell wall. Chloroplasts. They absorb light and energy and create glucose, sugar, which the plant uses for food. In the second image on the right, you'll see circular substances. Those are chloroplasts. Next, we have the central vacuole. Often the largest organelle or structure in a plant cell, it stores materials and waste for the plant to thrive. It is the largest substance in this particular cell. It is the green egg-shaped substance. Let me point out that it appears egg-shaped in this image and not in all plant cells. Animal cells. They're more circular. Here's an example of what the inside of an animal cell looks like. Quite different, right? Two main components that belong to only the animal cell are lysosomes and centrosomes. A centriole, a cylinder of 27 microtubules, fibers that guide movement in the cell that help determine the location of the nucleus. In this image, they're the Twizzler-looking substances that you see in this image. Centrosome. Two centrioles, like the Twizzlers that were in the previous image, in specific arrangements that help provide structure within the cell. In this image, it's the yellow ring that looks like it could be a pasta noodle. Next, we have lysosomes. There are compartments used for digestion and recycling for worn-out organelles. In this image, it looks like the blue bubble or ball on the bottom right. May said, "Wow, thanks for the help. I'm curious though, do the cells have anything in common?" I'll share a few components they have in common: nucleus, the cell membrane, cytoplasm, and mitochondria. For now, let's go over four components. I could go on and on about cells, but let's stick to just four for now. The cell membrane is on the outer portion of the animal cell, while the plant cell has a cell membrane within the cell wall. Remember that extra layer we talked about? Yeah, the animal cell doesn't have that. There's a cytoplasm, and it's kind of hard to see here, so let's talk about in a minute. They both have a nucleus, a cytoplasm, a cell membrane, and mitochondria. The nucleus is a control center of a cell. It produces new cells, absorbs nutrients, and contains DNA of the cell. It's kind of that gobstopper or jawbreaker looking thing. Next, we have the cell membrane. In this image, you can see that it is the outer shell of this animal cell. It controls what passes in and out of the cell. Cytoplasm. In this image, it appears reddish-orange in the background. It is essentially like egg whites in an egg, or like the gelatin in Jell-O. It holds things together. So it holds all of the organelles together. The mitochondria produces energy for the cell, called ATP. Mitochondria looks like a tiny brain here, but I promise it's not. We are looking at one of the most important parts of how a cell functions. It's a powerhouse, if you know what I mean. I hope this was helpful. Good luck with your project. Thank you. Maze was encouraged to do more research on her own, and she felt more confident about her project. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.